Hello everyone and welcome back to the Winning Post podcast, a show brought to you by Architect Tips. I'm your host, Stephen Dowler, and Kieran Clavin joins me once again to preview Saturday's racing at Newmarket, featuring the 2000 Guineas. For those who followed last weekend's advice, you'd have had a 7-1 winner, as Resplendent Grey won the Bet365 Gold Cup. He was highlighted by both myself and Kieran, and he was also Kieran's nap as well. As well as that, we had Appreciate It, who placed at 18-1, and Miel was a winner at 100-30. So that's now two profitable previews in succession, so we'll hope to make it three this time. So then, Kieran, we'll kick things off with the 145 at Newmarket. Who do you like the look of?
So I came down on a short list of three in this to start with. We'll start off with More Thunder, I believe his favourite. I think he's 4-1 favourite last time I looked. Very impressive first time up for Haggis after being running over a mile 2 for Stout, then goes to Haggis and wins over 7 furlongs. And Haggis said he looked like a sprinter, so I'm not quite sure what Stout was doing with him last year, but that's that. But obviously winning over course and distance at the Clavin meeting, he's going to come here with plenty of potential in this race. 4-1, he's a bit skinny in this sort of field, potentially. 4-year-old going up against older horses, maybe a bit skinny. So I won't be playing him. The second one I came down on was Inish Fallen of Brian Meehan's. Ran at Newbury over a mile, was at the front and basically fell out the back of the TV. Didn't stay the trip, simple. Has won over 6, comes back down to this trip now. Potentially could go close. Obviously will be prominent. We'll obviously he set a decent gallop at Newbury, so it'll probably be the same tactics again. I would have thought, obviously, over shorter. But the one I do like, and I can't believe I'm going to put this guy up, but at 22-1 is Silky Wilkie of Carl Burke's. He's 22-1. He hasn't won in God knows how long. His last winning mark was 103. He's now off 89. He's right down the bottom of the handicap. But if he runs to his potential that he did, like he ran it in the Air Gold Cup, he finished second, 66-1. On that day, he was off of 99 or 92 if you take off the £7 claim of the jockey. So he's £3 lower than that now. The winner of that race, Lethal Levi, runs in this as well. And Lethal Levi was given, I believe he's given £3 that day, if my notes look in. Now has to give him a 1.5 stone. So, I think it was a length and a half difference. So, if Silky Wilkie can come back to the form, obviously he hasn't won in 18 months, I think it is, but if he can come back to somewhat form and travel, well, even if he runs to the race he did at Ayr a couple of months ago, then I think 22-1 he could outrun his odds. So, that would be my play in this race. You're probably going to get 4 places somewhere if you look around, maybe 5. Can't remember how many runners is in the race now, but yeah, Silky Wilkie each way for me.
Good stuff, Kieran, good stuff. I actually put up Silky Wilkie the last time he ran, and I was confident he was going to win, and he ran really poorly, but yeah, he does look very well handicapped, and I hope he runs a good race.
Yeah.
And
it's just a case of when, I think.
Yeah, he just seems to pop up every now and again, doesn't he? So he either runs well or he doesn't. It's one of those, but yeah, I hope he can run a big race for you. Right, the two that I'm going for here against the field, the first one is the one right down at the bottom, ABERAMA GOLD. Now, I know he's on quite a bit of a losing run at the moment, but he's actually maintained his form quite well. His last 2 wins were off marks of 89 and 88. He finished a very good 6th in this race 12 months ago off a mark of 97. He's £8 lower this time around on a mark of 83, and he literally has no weight on his back, with Warren Fencer and claiming a value of £5. Now, ideally, you'd prefer a little bit more juice in the ground, but there are plenty of other contributing factors regarding his chance, and I think he could run well at a big price here. You can get 4 places and around 25-1 for him. The other one that I've come down on is 2 Tribes. Now, he's a bit of a quirky sort, but he's very capable at this level when he puts it all together. He's got a very good record when fresh. And he run well several times last season off high marks, including when runner-up to James's Delight over course and distance at this meeting last season on his return. That was off a £2 high mark, and the winner is now rated in the high 100s. So I think he's definitely well treated. Sylvester de Souza gets the leg up on him. He'll need a bit more luck in running. given his hold-up style. But I think if the gaps do split for him, I think he could run well at a price, and I think he's available at around 9 to 1. So in the 145 for me, it'll be ABERAMA GOLD 25 to 1, 4 places, and 2 Tribes 9 to 1, 4 places as well. So then we move on over now to Goodwood for the 2 o'clock. Now, this looks a really good race on paper, to be honest, Kieran. I'll let you kick off with this one. I've got quite a strong fancy in this. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
I have got, there's a fairly strong fancy, to be honest. It's Bright Thunder that comes here back into listed company. 2 seconds. Again for Carl Burke. I've got a bit of a Carl Burke trait going on this tonight by the looks of it. He was 5th on seasonal debut at the Curragh last time over this trip. And he looked the winner 2 furlongs out and then kind of tied up, or she, sorry, kind of tied up coming down here to the end and ended up finishing 5th. Hopefully she's now race sharp going into this race, but she's won over the mile, so it's not like she doesn't get the trip. It's just, I don't know whether 7 furlongs would be better, but they're trying her again at the mile, they're sticking there. I think she's about 4 to 1 or something, 6 to 1 I can see here, I got my notes, so I think could be a each way steal at 6 to 1, but I wouldn't be looking elsewhere. I think she's got potential to run big here, to be honest.
Okay. My best bet of the day comes in this race, actually, and it's Crimson Advocate. I was really taken with the way she went through a race on a return at Kempton, where she looked like she really appreciated the step up to a mile, and I thought she was very unlucky to be on the wrong end of a photo finish with Soprano. I do think if Rab Havlin could ride that race back again, he would probably have asked for her effort a bit sooner. I think she would have won quite comfortably. She's a former Group 2 winner at Royal Ascot, and I just think that she's could be a bit better than these. I mean, Soprano's rated 110, and I do think she would have beaten her the last day. That run would have blown away the cobwebs. Her connections are in good form. The ground will be absolutely ideal, and I think this is a good opportunity for her to gain revenge. So Crimson Advocate at around 11 to 4 will be my play in the 2 o'clock at Goodwood. So moving on back to Newmarket now for the 220. This looks really competitive, but I am willing to give a chance to one at a big price here, and it's Sean at 18 to 1. Now this horse has been in my track for quite some time. He has been pulled out of a couple of engagements in the last few months, but I think Connections have been waiting for really nice ground, because this horse is seen to best effect when the ground is fast. He does need a very strong pace, but I think he will get there in here. And he looks very well handicapped off a mark of 103, especially when you look back on his previous form. His unlucky defeat at Windsor last year, that came off a mark of 108, and he would have won that race with a clear run. He stayed on strongly to finish 3rd, and before that he finished a very good 2nd to Elnajam at Ascot off a mark of 106. I think if he comes forward from his comeback run in the Lincoln, he could run a very big race here. So I do like the look of Sean at 18 to 1 each way with the 4 places in the 220. Kieran, do you like the look of anything in this race?
I'm going back to my trusty combination of Charlie Johnson, of Dutch Decoy, 2nd the race last year, off 92, comes here off 85, 10 to 1, looks an each way play, obviously run decent here. It's finishing only a length and a half behind Liberty Lane in this race last year. Liberty Lane's gone off, was 101 that day, is now up to 100 mark of 113. And I know Dutch Decoy's gone the other way. He's run obviously a lot more times in handicaps. But back to Newmarket, where he's ran well in this race last year. And I think each way play 10 to 1. You're going to get 4 places again on this race. He could be there or thereabouts. And you know what the Johnson combination will be like. He's definitely going to. Well, he's actually hold up horse for them, which is very rare. He's not normally at the front, which is very rare for them. But yeah, Dutch Decoy each way would be my play in here. But it's a very trappy race, to be fair.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll move on now over to Thirsk for the Thirsk Cup at 2:35. I don't know what you think about this, Kieran, but there looks quite a few well handicapped horses in this race.
Loads of them.
Yeah, there is. Well, how do you assess this one?
Well, I looked at it and I looked on down it. I was like, well, I normally look, course and distance is normally what I look at first off. Who's ran at the track, because some of these tracks like are very specific. You have to be. And 4 of these ran in this race last year. So you had Latribian, I believe I pronounced that right. He was 11th in the race last year. Croyturn was 12th. Northern Express was 7th, and Renada, who's actually won this race before, the one right down the bottom, was actually 4th in the race last year. Now, Renada comes here, he was run off 88 last year, comes here off 83, so he's the first one of our well-handicapped ones. Northern Express is off top weight, and it's got to carry £4 more, and probably wants a bit more cut in the grain, so we'll cross him off. And the same can be said for Croyturn in regards to the grain. I think he needs a bit more cut in the grain as well. He's off £1 lower. He's off 89. He was off 90 last year. But Latribian, or Trinidad, sorry, should I say, is the one I'm going to put up for Roger Fell. He's actually outside. I couldn't believe it when I looked at the prices. He's 25 to 1. Now, he ran in this race, like I said, he's off 96. He ran off 94, sorry, in this race last year. And needed his run, was 11th, needed the prep run. He then came back in August off 96 with £2 higher and won. And he's not done a lot since. And then he's now back to 96 running this race. The only question mark, and this is probably why he's 25 to 1, is he never wins first time out. He always needs his run. So that probably could be why he's 25 to 1. But back to a mark of 96, the same winning mark he had in August, at the same course that he won of 96. I'm willing to give him a chance that maybe he gets out the right side of the bed first time up and could run big off, and 25 to 1 is well worth a look at in my eyes. So yeah, the Trinidad for me, or for Roger Fell.
Okay, nice. Made a really good case for him. Well, I've come down on one. I mean, I was half looking at High Royal in this, but I mean, his last few performances have not been that good, to be honest. He has got a bit of back class about him, so I wouldn't be surprised if he popped up. But the one that I'm quite sweet on is Flight Plan. Now, I was actually quite fortunate to tip the winner of this race last year when I put up Titan Rock at 20 to 1. So it would be nice to try and repeat the feat. But yeah, I do. Well, I do. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that often, but I do think course form does play a factor into this race. And Flight Plan, I thought it was quite an eye-catching run here last time when he finished 4th. He would have needed that run. He was a Group 2 winner at 3, and since he won his Group 2, where he beat Lord Massachusetts, who subsequently won a listed race, he's just been pitching in real deep company. All of his form in the last 2 years has either been in listed or group races. He was actually around this time last year running the Locking Stakes at Newbury. He was simply outclassed in that race, but I actually don't think he ran to form in that contest. He was rated as high as 113 last season. He's now down to a mark of 102. And I know stall 9 probably isn't ideal, but I think if he starts well, he could actually blow this field apart, to be honest, if he can come back to his form from when he won his Group 2 at 3. I think he's available at around 11 to 1. So if you could back him each way 4 places, I'm sure Flight Plan will give you a good run in the Thirsk Cup. So yeah, Flight Plan 11 to 1 for me will do for this one. So then we move on now back to Newmarket for the 255. I believe it's the Palace House Stakes. This is, I found this one a bit competitive, too competitive to put up a bet in this race. I did half look at Twilight Calls, and then I was looking at Washington Heights, and then I ended up going through about 5-6 of them, and I scrambled my own brain, so I just left it alone altogether. Kieran, do you have a big fancy in this one?
Yeah, I'm actually quite strong on one here, to be honest, and it is, what, like you mentioned, Washington Heights for Kevin Ryan. One more similar event to this in April at the track over 6 furlongs. Now I know this is down to 5 furlongs, but he's been running okay in I say graded races, I'm thinking bloody jumps racing here. Group races. Running a group race over 5, so if a drop back to 5 furlongs shouldn't be a problem for him. back in the listed company now, so obviously he's, well, Group 3, sorry. Is it Group 3 or listed? I can't remember which way it is. Round it is. I think it's, is it Group 3? Or is it listed?
I think so. I think it's Group 3.
I think so, but anyway, he's been running in Group 1s anyway, so he's definitely down in grade, that's for sure. Off a mark of 107, so I think he's got a hell of a chance here. I think you mentioned earlier about I was going to back this each way. I looked at the price, but just before we came on, he's 4-1 now, so the money's coming as well for Kevin Ryan. So Washington Heights, he's probably one of my stronger fancies. Obviously down in grade. Back at the course he's won at. He's no problem over the trip, even though he hasn't won over the trip here. He's probably my one of the stronger fancies of the day, to be honest. One I will give a shout out to is the winner of last year, which is 7 questions run it last year. He's actually having his first start for Robert Cowell. He won the race last year. I can't remember who he was trained by before. But obviously, Robert Cowell, very much an expert at sprinters, isn't he? And he takes this one on his hands. He's 16-1. He could potentially, not say go back to back, but he could go close going back to back. But Washington Heights would be my play here, and it'll be a win play. Now he's 4-1. You can't back that each way. So yeah, Washington Heights for Kevin Ryan for me.
Okay, great stuff. So now we move on to the feature race of the day, the 2000 Guineas at 3:35 at Newmarket. Now, well, where do we start here? So obviously we've got Field of Gold at the top of the market. He was very impressive the last day, but I don't know. I just have a bit of a question about the form of that race. I do think a few of those in behind needed the run more than the market suggested. So I'm actually happy to play against him here. The first one that I'm actually going to put up here each way is Shadow of Light. I'm actually surprised he's as big as he is in this race. Well, I know William Buick's opted for ruling
That's
court.
good for you. It's gone the other way, isn't it? It's got to be.
He has, yeah, but I've got a feeling he might have made the wrong decision here. I mean, Shadow of Light last season, I mean, he won 4 of his 5 starts, including 2 Group 1s at this course. And as far as I can see, he's done very little wrong. Mikel Barcelona gets the leg up this time. He's actually the highest rated horse in the race, I believe, at 120, which is a rarity in this event. When he won the Dewhurst, he beat Expanded, but Expanded, I know he's a touch shorter in the market here, but he had the benefit of the stands rail, whereas Shadow of Light had to charge down the middle, doing his own thing, and I think it was a lot more harder work for him than Expanded. I thought he did very well to charge through to the line and win going away. I do think the extra furlong will be right up his street, and yeah, I think his record in total at Newmarket is 3 wins from 3 starts. So I'm struggling to pick holes in him, to be honest here. I think he's available around 15-2. So if you can get 4 places on Shadow of Light, I'll be surprised if he's out of the first 4. And then my second one that I've come down on in the 2000 Guineas is SCORTHY CHAMP. It's around 8-1. He's won 2 of his 3 starts to date, and I thought he was actually unlucky on his second start, where he completely blew the start, and then he ran on well to finish 3rd behind Henri Matisse. He did reverse that form when last seen in the National Stakes, and he was again really strong at the finish. And I thought the runner-up Henri Matisse had no excuses that day. And obviously, he's gone on to frank the form by winning the Breeders' Cup meeting. And if you go back to SCORTHY CHAMP's debut win, he beat a horse called Hodershell, who was last seen winning the Group 1 Futurity Stakes at Doncaster. So in both of his wins, his form's working out really well, beating Group 1 winners. And obviously Joseph O'Brien's kept him fresh for this as well. So I think SCORTHY CHAMP at 8-1 each way, 4 places, and Shadow of Light 15-2 each way, 4 places. I don't think we go far wrong here. So hopefully one of those can go close to getting the job done. Kieran, 2000 Guineas, who do you like the look of?
Well, this is actually going to be quite short and sweet because you've just explained it all. SCORTHY CHAMP is the one I've come down on. I like you said, the form all ties in. Henri Matisse went and won over it in the Breeders' Cup afterwards, didn't he, after this? So the form all ties in. He's been kept fresh. Joseph said, I think, start of the season, this was going to be the race he was coming for to start with. He wasn't going to have a prep run. They were happy with him. And like you said, 8-1, massive each. If you can get it 4 places, like you said, each way is massive. all the form's there. The only issue is he hasn't ran at the track. That's the only downside. I think he's got a stall one as well, which isn't ideal, but hopefully, yeah, big run from him. You bet. I won't repeat what you said. We're going to go like last week. I said everything about Resplendent Grey, and you agreed, and we're going to go the other way around this week with this one. So let's hopefully we can get 2 weeks on the trot.
Yep, that's it, Kieran. Fingers crossed. So yeah, that wraps up the preview of the racing for Saturday at Newmarket, Goodwood and Thirsk. We move on now to our best bet of the day. Kieran, who is your nap of the day for Saturday, please?
It's going to be Washington Heights in the 255 at Newmarket, but as everybody knows, I'm more jumps, and if people who know me, I'm more jumps than I am flat, as you can probably tell by the way I'm previewing this amount. I've got one for Punchestown that I want to just mention, if you don't mind.
Of course.
So in the 525 at Punchestown tomorrow, it's Hey Sunshine of Willie Mullins's. Paul Townend will ride. Currently 11-1. Won at the course 2 starts back, and was said to going to be put away for the Mayor's Novice. Picked up a injury before Cheltenham, so didn't run in the Mayor's Novice. Then came back at Fairyhouse last time on heavy ground, which wouldn't have suited, and that was probably freshen up for this. Comes into handicap debut. Mullins, Townend, 11-1. You're going to get 5 places. So Washington Heights on the flat, Hey Sunshine on the jumps. I'll say nap and MB if you want to. We'll go like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, awesome, Kieran. So that wraps up everything for this week. As always, thanks for watching. If you liked our coverage, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Oh yeah, sorry.
Sure nap.
Yeah, I forgot about that then. That was a good spot actually, Kieran. Yeah. Yep. Sorry. My nap. I know. Yeah, it's a good job reminding me then. My nap will be Crimson Advocate in the 2 o'clock at Goodwood. Yeah, I think she's got a very good chance here, especially on the way she caught the eye last time at Kempton. So hopefully she can get the job done this time. But yeah, I'll repeat it again.
That's all right.
That's it for this week. As always, thanks for watching. And if you liked our coverage, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Enjoy the weekend. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll see you all again very soon.